So, hello everybody, and welcome back to Simulation Section. You join me at Manchester Victoria. It just pinged me back into the cab that I'm not 100% happy with because I wanted to watch the trains. And as I say, welcome to Manchester Victoria, the deep dark arches and the sort of tunnely bit of the underneath of Victoria Station. I spent many a time when I was younger waiting here for through trains from the likes of Southport and further afield to take me back towards West Yorkshire. Nowadays it's 195s, and apart from the Chester turns, most of them terminate at those platforms over there in the nice light bit. But the old vibe was the proper waiting for the Pacer and 158 combination. So what's it telling us? So, hello driver, first things open the doors here at Manchester Victoria where you booked the pass at 17:11. You will then call at Ashton-under-Lyne, Stalybridge, Mosley, Greenfield, Huddersfield, Deaton, Mirfield, Ravensthorpe, Dewsbury, Batley, Morley and Leeds. The destination blind is already set, so all we need to do is register bits and bobs and get ourselves set up. So, with that in mind, we have 3 minutes to get everything set up and hunky-dory, and we're going via Ashton-under-Lyne, which will be quite exciting. So what we need to do is close and know how these paces work. That off. The marker lights on, we're going to have destination lights on. There we go. We look a little bit more like we actually mean business, and that's always good. Beside us, the incredibly typical lineup at Manchester Victoria of a 150 attached to a 156. Meanwhile, over here we've got a 142 attached to the 150/1. Then, usually was always the case on the busiest line, is a 150/1. Always been the case, it would be on the busy line. And something else worth noting is we've got 2 paces today coupled to each other, so we're in charge of doing a 4-car set, which will be interesting to see how well the acceleration goes. One of the 4-car sets has the more West Yorkshire scene stroll and destination blinds, and the other has the more Greater Manchester and Lancashire scene dot matrix. Lancashire always and Greater Manchester area always had a lot more dot matrix paces than West Yorkshire did. Although obviously because they're all cross-border services, they used to see them from each end, thus probably why this couplet's happened. Fun fact is I have also actually seen 142 in real life. I remember seeing that parked at one day at Bradford Interchange with the dot matrix blind on. That's really cool, I like that. So we're taking a little break away from our usual Airedale and Wharfdale lines. I was having a little look at the scenarios and nothing really screamed out at me. And I was like, well, I haven't driven this scenario yet, and it is a pacer scenario, and we all love pacers. And the last video I think was a 156, so it's fine. We can get away with that. We can get away with something a bit different. It also goes with the vibes because it is nice and sunny today, although I have spent the full day sat in front of the computer. That wasn't the plan. Unfortunately, life is life sometimes. It is quite nice to be driving out of Manchester in the sun. For those that have visited Manchester, you will agree with me with how rare it actually is to leave Manchester Victoria and it is sunny. It's usually a bit mucky weather, a bit murky, not nice, miserable, or it's raining. So it's quite nice actually in Manchester Victoria, quite nice. Hopefully the other side of the Pennines is just as nice to us. Because that's always the issue as well. Sometimes when you leave on a train on one side of the Pennines, like I used to leave West Yorkshire all the time to go for a day trip to Manchester, and I'd leave West Yorkshire and it would be so nice and sunny, and then I get to Manchester and it'd rain all day. I've also known it be vice versa. where I've left West Yorkshire and it's been rainy, and then I've jumped on the bus from Halifax to Rochdale and got to Rochdale and it's been so sunny, it's unreal. It's always really weird how the weather just tends to be like the polar opposite depending on which side of the Pennines you're on. I really do like the cranes in the background as well. That really does give off a proper sort of Manchester construction site vibe. There was always the vibe when you used to come on to Manchester Victoria, not on this line but on the sort of Rochdale Headford Bridgeway, because that's my regular line that I used to catch. And going along there, you'd always sort of have like the trains as you were coming in on your 158 or your 150, or if you were really lucky, 140. 3+2 seats 140, I should add. Not just any standard 140, wait, 3+2 seats 140. So please be aware as well that with this scenario there is a few bits of AI traffic missing. So my apologies for that in advance. So there are a few bits of traffic missing, that's because I don't have everything that is required for these scenarios to work. And I thought by now, with how much money I've spent in Train Simulator over the years, I would have everything. But clearly I was wrong in thinking that. I left it a little bit late to use the brakes then, I will be honest. Does look really cool with a four car pacer. So this is us now diverting off towards Ashton-under-Lyne. The weather's really nice. I like the weather. I like the cloudy weather. Does it justice? Really does do it justice. It just feels like the absolute longest pacer. Just feels so extensive. Although people will quite rightly say to me that there was a longer pacer run in the past. There was, I think, when they were withdrawing them, there was an empty stock move that had like a load of pacers attached, and there was also a pacer run back in the day. Apologies, I can't remember where, but it was like sort of regional railways days where they had like 4 sets coupled together on a service run down south. I can't remember the full details of it. I've got the photo saved somewhere. Can't remember it being that long. So at the moment we're doing okay for time. We're due into Ashton-under-Lyne at 20 past on our ETA set at 19. So hopefully we stay like that. One of the many inner urban railway stations that has been abandoned in Manchester. There's quite a lot of them if you do travel about regularly on the Manchester commuter lines. There are a lot of abandoned stations. A lot of it has been replaced by Metrolink, because the Metrolink tramway, they shut the station through beaching cuts and other things similar. And then as Metrolink got launched, they didn't see the need to open many of the stations because a lot of it was replaced by the tram. And there is also sections of railway line that were replaced by the tram, and existing stations that are now used by Metrolink trams. The Metrolink tramway is a network I do really want to explore at some point. I've sort of done little trips on it here and there. It's not something I do that much on, but it is something I do want to have an explore at some point in the future. Once I have caught up with the B-Network stuff, that is very much the key priority at the moment. There's still a lot of B-Network shenanigans that I have not caught up with yet. Really do need catching up with that, to be honest. Yeah, I still need to go on the E100 EVs, still need to go on the single deck BZLs. I know that a few of the B5LH, E400 MCs have now gone onto the reserve fleet, but I still need to get the few that are actually still out in service. Been meaning to go over and get it for months. I've just not had the chance. Just life ends up so busy. It's been ages since I have been to Manchester for a non-work related day. It's been a long time. There goes another one, presumably with that being a 2 car that's on the Staley Bridge to Manchester Spinners, presumably. Another line I'm looking into getting that does sort of link into that, because Manchester sort of has electrified lines, has 323s, and I'm pretty certain this line in real life now has 323s. Obviously in this it's not electrified, but I'm sure it is nowadays. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's 323s on it. But I do need to look into getting the Birmingham Cross City lines that I have actually been on as a passenger. I've been on. I haven't been all the way through on those lines, but I have done a section of them to tick off a few Class 323s, because they are at work, because they've not got many in use now. Were absolutely amazing units. Thankfully, quite a few of them have gone over to Northern. I went on one about a year and a half ago. There was a full West Midlands train specced interior, but it was in Northern colours. So clearly a relatively recent transfer. So I know they got quite a few in the Northern network now. And that's why I want the 323s, because I haven't been on them in ages. I really like them, and the Birmingham Cross City lines where I rented them was pretty cool. So if people are interested and not looking to get that, just let me know. Let me know if that is something that does interest. Trying to keep it on full acceleration for as long as I physically can, because if I keep it there, if I keep it on the speed, hopefully keep to time. Because what I've noticed is from the previous videos, is braking a little bit too early. That has then been costing us time. At the end of the day, this is a pacer train, and it's 4 cars, so the engine is clearly working on overtime as it is. As long as we don't miss any stations, because it's very famous last words that we're going into a station at 40 miles an hour. Thankfully we've slowed right down to 30. As long as part of the train makes it onto the platform, I'm doing better than I thought I would. As long as half the train makes it onto the platform, I'm doing better than I thought I would. As long as a little section of the train makes it onto the platform, I'm doing better than I thought I would. As long as one door makes it onto the platform, I'm doing better than I thought I would. So, what have we learned through that? Well, we've learned that it's not worth sacrificing the time, not worth trying to get the time on to stop at the station. We've also learned that having a 4-car set, 142, is probably a good thing, actually, in order to making sure we actually get to the stations. So there we go. So we are at Ashton-under-Lyne. Believe it or not, we are bang on time. Even after that. And what I love about this line, this Manchester to Leeds line by Huddersfield, is it is modern era. So it's like TFGM stuff on the station, and the station itself is modern. Like, I remember walking down here past the Amazon lockers and up here into the station when I worked at Ashton-under-Lyne for a few weeks, and into the waiting room. That, for context, the waiting room is not as empty as this, but I will admit there isn't that much going on. Apologies for those realist people. I know that it's very much not a good start, but it'll get better. It'll get better. At least we've understood now that the pace and brakes do not work quite as well when you've got 2 units coupled together. Won't be the first time that's happened, and certainly won't be the last. And we have successfully achieved it, so it's not too bad. The last 2 stations where we have actually got to be on time for is Morley and Leeds. Morley in an hour. Excellent, and that's not just like an hour simulator time. That is an hour real time. How exciting. I might catch up the time though, you never know. To be fair, I've been wanting to do this line in full for a while. I do tend to try and pull off some of the longer scenarios, but I know that we've had a lot of shorter Omni2 videos later, so I was like, well, we'll balance out, won't it? I also really wanted to have a drive of this full route in proper northern branded era, because this is the era that I remember so fondly. I do really remember this era so fondly with the old Northern logo and the purple and the blue sort of going through all of the sort of like cutting through the stations in West Yorkshire, and when I went over to Greater Manchester and bits like that. It's just so cool. As I say, unfortunately we don't have the sort of Bradford Foster Square to Manchester Victoria line. That is a shame. It is a real shame. I mean, even if it was literally done as Preston to Bradford Foster Square, it's still pretty cool. Or even like just Leeds Bradford to Halifax, or Leeds Bradford to Hebden Bridge. That'd be really cool. Possibly a bit of food for thought for our good friend Max Tracks Development, who created the incredibly stunning Airedale line, which every time I drive another route I miss. I do seriously miss it. It's such a nice route, but I am getting to the stage where I'm quite actively running out of scenarios, so I think I might need to make a couple of scenarios myself, to be honest. A few bits that I remember on there. But it's such a good line, it really is. So this is Staler Bridge, otherwise known as Staler Vegas. This is a station I've worked at as well. Not much goes on here, to be honest. It's just very much just Staler Bridge. They're doing a lot of work here at the moment for the Trans-Pennines upgrade scheme. A lot of work. Absolute ton of work around here at the moment. So again, this is something that is worth actually going along this line, because yeah, this line is still very much modern era. So it's still very much got all the modern signage from only a couple of years ago. It is very modern era. However, with all the upgrades going on, very soon, in a couple of years' time, this line will very much be outdated. I mean, I would imagine some of the track work on Huddersfield is already quite outdated, because they've done a lot of work there recently. But yeah, it's one of these where this is the line how I remember it when I used to go on absolutely rammed Class 185 trains when I was younger. Now that is something else that's worth mentioning. Are people interested in me purchasing the Class 185? Now it is something I've looked into, and I am actively interested in purchasing it, but obviously the only necessity of purchasing it is to obviously drive it on train sim. A lot of what I do on train sim is for the sake of videos, so I've got to make sure that the lot would actually want to watch it, want to see me with the 185. So if that is something that interests you, please do let me know, and I'll take it into consideration. Because as I say, this line is very much suited to the 185s. Like, it is, don't get me wrong, it is lovely to sort of take one of these places on here. I absolutely love it on the stopper line as it did exist. However, this is very much 185 territory, and whether we like it or not, it is 185 territory. I'm going to try and perch on the wall, I think. Problem is I was hoping for sort of like a frontal shot, but it still works. I mean, the sun's going to be behind us for the entire adventure, so it's going to look very similar to the recent Airedale line, screenshot I took, but for the thumbnail, but it's alright, we'll manage. I still absolutely love the graphics in this game. Like the shadows and the detail is just absolutely beautiful. Really, really is nice. So it's interesting to note on this calling pattern that from Greenfield we actually run direct to Huddersfield, so we don't stop on this. This was one of the weird eras of Northern timetabling, and on the Trans-Pennine route there has been a lot of weird eras of timetabling on this line, where the idea has always been that Northern do the stopper stations, so they do all the little local stations, Trans-Pennine Express go more direct, and that's always been the case, sort of like a semi-fast Trans-Pennine. Now they've gone through eras where Northern have run on here, when they haven't run on here, where they've run part on here, where they haven't run at all on here. And then there's bits where Trans-Pennine have stepped up and done sort of express corridors and bits like that, and done stopper corridors alongside it, and done all the stopper stations. However, it always seems to change, and I mean, this is again one of the weird eras of timetabling. Now, unfortunately, I'm not an expert on this line. I didn't catch Northern Rail on this line when they were running on it, because again, I used to catch the other line, the Bradford Foster Square to Manchester line. I used to be on that one. However, I do know how much has changed with this, and I do know that they used to run through to Southport. However, I didn't know that the calling pattern was this weird, where they sort of serve the stopper stations in like Manchester, but then from the border into Huddersfield they don't serve anywhere. But then from they become a fast train. But then from Huddersfield, it then becomes a stopper train again. It's really weird. This is making up to the people of Mosley after last time's incident where we missed the station. This time we've upset Ashton and the line. However, how largely I spoke of the place last time, it should be okay. We should be easily forgiven. But this time, this is proof that I don't hate Mosley. I just misjudged the pace of brakes. There's a common theme here, everybody. Just misjudged the pace of brakes. But we are here, and we're loading up Mosley. I don't know how far behind time we are. Let's have a look. Mosley, apparently 17:33 Mosley. So, but because it's not all being put as timetable points, it actually means I can catch the time up, which means that hopefully we'll keep on time. So, although we are running a little bit early to the usual regulated timetable that exists or existed in real life with this line, with this particular trip used to operate, it hopefully will help us when we get to the timetable stations of Morley and Leeds, because it'll mean we're actually on time, which is a good thing. But yeah, we've got Greenfield next, and then direct Huddersfield, so no Marsden, no Slowett, they must be served by Trans-Pennine at the time. No Marsden or Slowett, then straight through to Huddersfield, and then from Huddersfield we are serving Deaton, Murphy, Ravensthorpe. Ravensthorpe is currently a closed railway station, I believe. I know Deaton's definitely shut. I think Ravensthorpe is about to close, or might already close, I think. I know that Deaton and Ravensthorpe, I know you can't get to those stations that much. What's also interesting is between Morley and Leeds we're also direct, so we're not serving Cottingley. But again, really weird. I don't understand how this works. This is a really weird timetabling. I can only assume that again at this time Cottingley was served by the train that sort of joined around Dewsbury and Murfield. So the train that joined from Brighouse, I can only assume that that's the one that served that, possibly. So presumably because of the length of the route that we're doing, and obviously the fact that we are on the Trans-Pennine line as well, I can only assume that's why we're having to miss out lots of stations in order to not get in the way of the Trans-Pennine services. It does look really nice in this weather in the game. It looks absolutely stunning. I mean, it's lovely. It's relatively sunny outside. It was really sunny this morning when I was waking up, and then they sort of clouded over a little bit. It's still nice outside. So I'm looking forward to getting out because I have done enough work on the computer for one day. I think that's very much safe to say after this. I think I've done enough. Yeah, it's a really weird calling pattern. Really, really strange calling pattern. And then due into Leeds 1834. Really, really strange calling pattern. You can definitely feel the drag a lot more when you've got the two sets together. You can seriously feel it. That's why I'm misjudging all these stations. Because you can feel the additional sort of weight behind you. Again, a testament to Armstrong Powerhouse and their just really good technical ability and to sort amazing trains out. Absolutely amazing trains. Like I remember the original AP 142 was the first train I purchased externally that wasn't on Steam for Train Simulator. It was the first one I purchased and installed because I really wanted the Pacer train. I really, really did. Like I had the 143 and I was like, oh, the 143 is nice. But the 142 is going to be even better, and it was even better. It was like so exciting. So I remember getting it, and there was a lot of hype at the time. A lot of excitement when I got it. And I mean, now I remember when I was looking to coming back. When I was looking into coming back to not to Train Simulator and do a little bit more with Train Sim, like I used to, and looking at the different routes and stuff. And I saw 142 had sort of had its upgrade and its enhancement. I was like, oh my gosh, so exciting! So I made sure I got it installed, got it all set up, and here we are. Definitely one of the best upgrades to an existing train in Train Sim, like ever. So now we're straight to Huddersfield, so we're going past the tunnels, the sort of Stanage tunnel and through Marsden, and we basically dive straight through the Pennines. We've got a 150 class dash 1 coming towards us. Very nice. So the scenario that we're driving today is one of these scenarios that does actually come with the enhanced Armstrong Powerhouse 142, so it's not like a scenario that I have downloaded sort of found stuff like that. This does come with the 142. However, I just thought the year of the scenario, the setup of it as well, and the fact that it is an AP scenario, so it won't be meticulously put together, I thought it was just worth doing it, something a little bit different. And it keeps us with our vague sort of theme that we have on the channel of Northern Rail, because we do like Northern Rail here, and we do like it. Oh, that looks cool. Lots of screenshots. Lots of screenshots. Oh, no, I didn't want to drop. I wanted to... There we go. I wanted to go up a little bit, not drop down a little bit. I'm just trying to... Because this is the issue with these, is you can never... I like that. That's cool. I do actually like that. That's an unexpected cool angle. Yeah. I just want to try and get. I don't quite know what angle I'm going for, but it's one of these where it's like once I've got the angle, I know, like that. And once I've got the angle, I know what I'm going for. There we go. Excellent stuff. So just under 12 miles to Huddersfield should be easy enough. And then we're in West Yorkshire, so as soon as we go under the tunnel, we'll pass through Marsden and Slough, and then literally straight to Huddersfield. How exciting! Gradually break now, and hopefully by the time that we get to that 15 miles an hour zone, hopefully we're pretty much on the point. All being well. Might need a little bit more brake. I think I was a little bit too optimistic. There we go. I love how it got us to go down to 15 and yet it hasn't actually registered 15 on there. So there was me just entirely panicking about getting it down to 15, and I actually got it down and then it just went, no, we're not bothered. Could have stayed at 60. One thing that does baffle me with this 142 pack is the fact that the lights work but they don't light up the saloon. That is, I think, the only negative that I have found with this pack is that they bizarrely just don't light the interior up. It's really strange. I think the 156 is similar as well. That's a similar problem. I don't quite know how or why, but seem to have that problem. So it just means that instead of being able to sit in a sort of lit passenger cabin while going through a tunnel and people entertaining, we have to just kind of sit in the void, just wait for the light to return. Just feels like the east is not getting any closer. Kind of that thing is just staying the same amount of distance away. I mean, this is the big tunnel between Lancashire and Yorkshire on the Trans-Pennine line. So this is that kind of like big tunnel. This is the one that you go through in between and you sort of merge on the side of the county. So it is good that it is actually long. Like, I mean, it replicates it correctly. It's just, yeah. When there's no light in the saloon and there's not much to talk about, it's just like, yeah, here we are existing in tunnels. Yeah, that light at the end of the tunnel feels like it's just staying at the exact same distance. I mean, not helped by the fact that we are in a place and that we entered the tunnel at 16 miles an hour thanks to an incorrect bit of speed marking signage. We're going up to another one where it just looks like it says 6B. I don't quite know what that means either. What's going on today? cancel that. We do not want to stop for an AWS warning mist in this tunnel. That will prolong it even more. We do not want that. Yeah, we are. This is the Pennines. This is exactly what the Pennines looks like. The Pennines is a load of hills. The only thing it's missing is the sheep, and then this is actually very much the Pennines, just a lot of big hills. What it is, a lot of big hills, and as a result of big hills, there's a bit of scenery as well. But we are going to miss this 45 miles an hour change. I'm going to be entirely honest with you. Yeah, I don't think, we're not going to quite make that, but we'll make it before the turn. That is very much the most important thing here. There we go. Bang on 45 for the bend, so that's alright. Could be worse. And now we have appeared in West Yorkshire. Yeah, it feels a lot more homely, does this now? It feels like I'm home. What we like. And then this is the weird bit where we're going to go past Marsden Station and Slough Station and not stop. That's really strange. The last video we did on this line, we did stop at these stations, but this still feels very weird. That it's like a northern pacer train going through the station fast, whilst a 185 that's going to Newcastle pulls into the station. Really odd. Really, really odd. But again, these were these strange timetablings on this line. I've had loads of strange timetablings over the years on this corridor. Like absolutely tons of weird bits of timetable change. And again, this was one of them. This was just one of those areas where, because of the unique nature of the Trans-Pennine line and the lack of overtaking loops once you sort of set off, it does mean that there's very little opportunity for a fast train to get round with it. Very little opportunity, thus why this train has to come past in certain sections. And I can only assume that's why it doesn't serve Cottingley, although I do remember that Cottingley was always a weird station anyway. Like, it always got served a bit weirdly to the others, like a bit more strange to the others. At the moment, the northern train from Halifax, I think is it Bradford Foster Square? I think it's Bradford Foster Square. I think Bradford Foster Square, Brighouse. Or it might go, and it might go to Manchester. But basically, whatever it does, it runs Brighouse through to Mayfield, then from Mayfield to Ravensthorpe, Mayfield to Ravensthorpe, then Ravensthorpe to Dewsbury, Putney, Morley, Cottingley, and that corridor runs, I believe, every hour. I think it does, every hour, and that's what serves Cottingley, so Trans-Pennine don't serve Cottingley. But there is this open argument, as there has been for the past few years, that they are going to close in Cottingley, replacing it with the White Rose train station and the White Rose shopping centre, literally 30 seconds down the line. Now that station was partially built, and then the incredibly intelligent West Yorkshire Mayor used all the money on other things. So because the money was used on other things that it wasn't supposed to be used on, the station project ran out of money. So because it ran out of money, it's going to be sat there half done, half direct, with a bankrupt company waiting to build it, waiting for it to be completed. So whether Cottingley is still going to get shut or not, I don't know. Whether White Rose train station is actually going to be finished or not, I don't know. All I know is at the moment, this line is still accurate because there's no White Rose shopping centre train station, and there's still Cottingley. So for now I know that this is still accurate. Probably the fastest I've ever got in a pacer train. It just feels very unnerving bumping around those heaths, carpets with the extra wobble. It feels incredibly unnerving. But I know if we stick at this, we'll get our time together and everything will work and it's all alright. And I've just realised how long we're going to have at Huddersfield, because Huddersfield is also a timetable station. I didn't realise. Yes, it is, and we're due out at 18:02. At the moment, our scheduled time of arrival is 17:52. Oh my goodness me, we're going to be sat here a while. Oh goodness me. Pace of Pennines. I do need to go back to see my friends at the Middle Railway at Butterley and travel on their Pacer trains again. I thoroughly enjoyed my experience last time with them. I really did. They made me feel so welcome. There is a video on the main channel, on the Animal Central channel, riding Pacer trains. Such a lovely line. Everybody was so friendly and so nice and happy to be there. We got a cab riding as well. It was pretty awesome, I'm going to be honest. That was really cool. Got cab riding. Got to go on all different Pacer trains and everything. It was just an incredibly nice experience. Really nice experience, and everybody just wanted to be there. The timetabling was good. The route was long enough so you could do a trip and then jump off and go and have a little explore somewhere. Oh, just such a nice little railway, and the Pacer trains are so perfect for it. Tell we're approaching Huddersfield, can't you? Single yellow, so let's make sure that we slow down in time for that, just in case it does make us stop, because we are early. We're very early. This usually is not a sentence that I say. I don't usually get to say, oh, we're quite early. So this is quite odd, is this? I will be honest. I'm not going to stick around at the stations for any longer. Yes, I know that it said the scheduling on there, but if the simulator is going to give me a little bit more leeway to go at my own pace, then it's fine. I'm not going to say no to that. I'm just going to slow it down just to make sure that it isn't on a red when we emerge from this tunnel. Yes, it is. It is red. It's a good job that we... The problem is in these tunnels, you like the deception of distance is really not as good as you want it to be. That'll do. So, we're clearly waiting for something because it has denied my request to pass danger. Where are we? We are near Huddersfield. What are we waiting for? Oh, there is actually a train in front of us. Okay, so we are waiting for the station to clear. So we're waiting for this Manchester Victoria to go because we are very early. And we're waiting for this Sheffield to go as well. Why is the Sheffield on that platform and not on platform 2? That's... Because everybody stood here waiting for it on platform 2. And yet it's over here on the other platform. Yeah, well, I mean, while we wait, because our platform is very much occupied, because we are very much early, let's have a little wander about. So I have been up here, believe it or not. There is more in here than Train Simulator presents there to be. But I've been up here as this is the old signal box. And I one time was invited up there during some work at Huddersfield Station to sit up there and have a break up there. And it still has the old control panel up there, and it is absolutely amazing. It is a thing of wonder. I think they might be getting rid of it, if not it's already gone. And it is an absolute thing of wonder, is that. And as you can see, we're back to Metro West Yorkshire. Metro, very much grew up with Metro, so it's always nice to see Metro bits. Oh, that's why the Sheffield train's going off that platform. Because there's another Sheffield train coming in. Oh, so that's coming from Sheffield. Where's that come from? Might have to do some digging. We're still on red. So I assume that we are going into platform 4, go across Huddersfield and drop in. Yeah, we'll do some train spotting for a little bit. It's very early. Train, you have been spotted. There we go. We'll train spot in a place that you would never usually be allowed to train spot. Train spotting in the location so that I can keep an eye on when platform 4 becomes vacant, so I know when to jump back in the train. I assume because of just purely how early we are, and we've got a couple of minutes of just watching the train sat here. No, you'd think that a station like Huddersfield, with it being on the Transpennine Express or Transpennine route, you'd never get scenes like this with so many northern trains in. But the reality is, you would. Like they used to go through spots where you'd walk in and all you'd see was northern trains. Like you'd just have loads of northern units sat there. No Transpennines, nothing like that, and it'd be just a load of northern units. So it's very similar to that. You'd have a few on the other side as well. That'd be that looks cool. That'd be waiting to go to sort of like Bradford and Halifax and places like that. And then you'd have a few on this side as well. So let's sit here and wait for this to pass us. So yes, as I thought, we are instantly given approval once platform 4 is vacant. So then we'll pull in and we literally have 10 minutes here. So yeah, it set us up for platform number 4. So I mean, we don't particularly have to rush into the station. That's worth mentioning with how long we are going to be sat here. We weren't due into it until 18:01. It is now 17:52. As you can see with the clock moving incredibly slowly, we are sitting here for the next 9 minutes. How exciting! Feel free to zoom the video ahead, but if you do like a bit of story time, stay tuned. If not, feel free to zip ahead by about 9 minutes, because unfortunately there is no way of speeding up the time in Train Simulator, so we are going to just sit here for the full thing. So, Huddersfield, what a place, what a place. Really nice station building. I do very much rate the building. In this corner here that I'm a bit disappointed has not been properly branded up and included, is one of the best pubs around, the King's Head. I've spent many a happy evening in the King's Head with quite a few of my bus and non-bus related friends. It's an incredibly nice real ale pub. It's an independent pub as well. And it's right next to the station, which means that as soon as you've finished having your pint, you can head straight into the station for the train. It's a really good pub. I really like it. I spent part of Christmas Eve in there this year, or last year just gone, drinking with a few of my friends. It was really nice, incredibly good vibes. It always had dark beers on as well, and I'm a dark beer fan, so I really like it. Over here, this is all changed a little bit. I mean, it looks a bit more lively in person. There's also a few more bus shelters in person. And I don't quite know what's gone on here, but this is a road junction. It's not a ramp in real life. And there is also another road in real life that heads round here. This is all the town, and then loops round to get us to this, which is the bus station with the car park on top. I don't quite know if I've ended up with trucks. But hey ho. It's very different when I'm on the Airedale and Wharfdale lines. I can do a lot more exploring on the Airedale and Wharfdale lines without thinking that half of Huddersfield is missing. And this is a nice ramp. This is the ramp from the bus station to the pub. It's a very important walkway, is that. Yeah. This is also not a ramp in real life. If it was that steep, I think many drunk people would fall over leaving the pub. Yeah, the station building's nice. Let's look in the station. So the Sheffield train's just departed. So that's just gone. This train doesn't quite know what it's doing. That's quite understandable. I feel like that sometimes. All the signage is blue, so if you notice the blue bottom instead of it being red, that's to denote the Trans-Pennine Express route. It is only blue on the Trans-Pennine Express route stations. The other stations usually have the bottom bit as like red or cream or something like that, like a metro colour. There's an incredibly nice first-class lounge behind one of these doors. I haven't been in it for ages. A very nice first-class lounge. If you do ever, I hope it's still open. I really do hope it's still open. So if you do ever go by first class for Trans-Pennine, go into the first-class lounge. It is really nice. It's a seriously nice first-class lounge. Lots of nice coffee and tea and biscuits and bits. Very nice. So they've done a lot of work in Huddersfield over sort of this bridge and this bridge quite recently, and if you keep going, probably the next bridge. Done a lot of work around here lately, an absolute ton. Sort of removing the bridge and reattaching it and refurbishing it and popping new bits together. They have done an absolute ton with the bridges. As part of this Trans-Pennine route upgrade. I don't know if the entire plan is to add an extra line or not. I'm pretty certain it is. I could be wrong. But I think that's what they're trying to go for, to basically do it so that this issue with these stopper trains, just like the one that we're driving now, can be solved where the faster trains can overtake. Because as I say, that's been the limitation on this line for years, is that they've had so many different renditions of the stopper trains just to try and fit in with the express ones that go along here, to try and create fast links between Manchester and Leeds. So it's trying to sort of get the right line with it. That's why they're doing all the upgrades that they could be doing. So yeah, our train is still sat here. We have 4 more minutes left until we go. Very much go, and then it is time to vamos. So yeah, it's fun. Exciting time. In future, I don't think I'm going to floor it as much when I do a scenario like this, because clearly we've sort of gone quick to obviously try and keep up with time, and found out that this actually does provide more time than needs be. That is definitely a first. Definitely a first. When I've been driving these routes, we usually end up late, and then it ends up going wrong and ends in like a disaster. And so it's quite nice to actually be the other way around, where we've actually got a few minutes somewhere to actually have a wonder. So that's a positive. It is a positive. I wish I'd have scripted more facts to talk about. I'm going to be honest. Wish I'd have scripted something. However, I was not expecting to be able to be sat here for as long as we have. It is not a complaint, merely an observation, but I just wasn't expecting it. So a nice positive thing where hopefully we're still on time by the time we get to Morley. If we've sat here for all this time and then we end up late in Morley, I'm not going to be happy. I'll be very unimpressed. Very unimpressed. So cross fingers, we will do okay. At least everybody's had enough time to get on the train. I mean, that's a positive of some sorts. Everybody's had enough time to get on it. So, yeah, that's good. Just means that no one can be like, well, I missed my train. Well, the train's been sat there waiting 10 minutes for you. So, yeah. fun. A minute and a half, thank goodness, because I've very much started to run out of things to say. Um, very much started to run out. I mean, I caught a northern train from Huddersfield once. One on this line. I think it might have been a 155. Got it to Bradford. By Halifax. Yeah. I nearly caught a northern train another time, but I didn't. Um, this is as exciting as it's got. If you've just tuned in at this point in the video, why choose this point? Please choose a point in future where there's just a little bit more going on. That is all my recommendation is. Anyway, we've got 59 seconds left, so let's get ourselves in and ready. Ready to do what? I don't know, but let's get ourselves in and ready. I do also keep needing your suggestions for what routes and trains you'd like me to drive. I am still thinking of bits and bobs to do. I am reading your comments and bits. I am incredibly stupid with video camera at the moment with non-YouTube related stuff. So, and because I do run 3 channels and it's literally me. It's not a team behind me. I don't have anybody else answering comments. Literally, if you get a comment from any of the 3 channels, it is me. So do bear with me if I'm a little bit slow with the comment replies at the moment. I am trying to speed up with them and get to them all. I do read them all, even if I don't get a chance to reply to them all. I do promise I do read them all. I do have a look at them all. So I do have a look at them all, but I'm hoping to get around to replying to a lot more I'm doing at the moment. So if you do send in your suggestions, I will definitely read it and I will very much try to reply to it. So let's leave Huddersfield. It's clearly a summer's day because it's nice and bright. I am really excited for summer. Very excited for summer. I hope everybody else is as well. I usually don't get that excited over seasons at the time of year, but we've had such a rubbish winter that I'm actually really excited to get into summer and to get into the sunny days and listening to music outside while drinking a beer and having an ice cream and enjoying rides on open top buses and having barbecues outside. I am really genuinely looking forward to it this year. I really am. Like, bring on June, July and August. I'm so excited because just the past couple of months it's just been rain and it has just been relentless. I'm so excited to just get back into some nice weather. It's going to be so nice. So we're not far off Deaton by the looks of it. We are nearly there. It's good. So what I'm doing at the moment with this channel, just keep you all in the loop with things because that's what we do here. I like to keep you all well informed. As I'm keeping an eye on what videos are doing well and what videos people aren't as bothered about. Please do tell me in the comments if you really like something, and if something's not your taste, you're not bothered by it, also let me know. So it's like, if I drive a certain train on a line and you're like, I'm not really bothered with that, that's not really my thing, then let me know. If you've got sort of suggestions, you like me doing these local northern commuter lines and bits like that, and there's possible routes you want me to get, or things you want me to look into, like the Class 185 for example, let me know, I'll look into it, I'll see what I can do, no promises, but I will definitely see what I can do. Same regarding Omta 2, if there's things you'd like to see more of, please do let me know. I'm lucky at the moment in Omta 2 that I am beta testing a number of very high quality upcoming maps, so you're seeing a lot of videos of them at the moment. Absolutely tons of people have been sending me stuff in at the moment. It's been incredibly nice. So I'm doing a lot of filming around that at the moment. But if there's any of those maps that you are seeing and there's something that I haven't quite covered and you'd like to see it, so let's say there's a section of the map you'd like to see in depth, or you'd like to see more focus on the AI vehicles or something like that, or you'd like to see a certain area in detail, or you'd like me to do a route that I've done in one direction, do it in the other direction as well, let me know. do get in touch, do let me know, and I'll certainly look into it, because it helps me, because I like to just jump in a train or jump in a bus and have a drive, but it is always nice to sort of do something that you lot are interested in as well, because again, at the end of the day, it's you lot watching the videos, so it's got to be something that we both enjoy. So if I can, I'm quite easygoing usually when I jump into something and spawn into something and have a little drive. Sometimes I'm not, sometimes I'm like, it's got to be this, I want to drive this, I want to do this. And most of the time I am easygoing. So do let me know, let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll certainly see what I can do. Do bear in mind as well with that, that a lot of the videos I do are pre-recorded, so I sort of have days where I have in front of the computer, like today, where I've recorded a few different simulator videos. I've done a bit of Omnis 2 driving, done a bit of Train Simulator, done bits like that, because how I do it is I sort of like have a couple of hours off and then I'll do a few videos together, just to make sure that we have enough videos, so your regular uploads once you're seeing something, and because I do just like genuinely having a few hours or having a morning or an afternoon. Today seems to be an afternoon, where I just film a few videos, have a bit of a driving simulator world, and just have a bit of a natter. It's quite nice to do it that way, so that's the way I do it. Works for me. So yeah, if you do send in a suggestion, please do not be offended if it doesn't appear in the next few videos, because as I say, I do film bits together. I sort of have like a mad few hours where I drive a few different routes on a map, drive a few different trains on the same line, something like that. So I do tend to have mad moments like that. With that in mind as well, if you are really enjoying what you're seeing, I'm really happy that that is the case. I really appreciate you for all coming by. If you haven't already, then do click that like button. I know I do always say it, but if you do click the like button, YouTube works its algorithm, so it means that more people that will enjoy this video just like you can find it, and that way they can then watch it, and then hopefully if you haven't already and you've found me through this video, or you've been watching a few videos and you've not sort of thought about subscribing yet, then think about subscribing. We do videos like this from Train Simulator, we do 1 to 2 videos, and I do a lot of real life talking, so I don't tend to drive too much stuff that I can't relate to. I've done a lot of travelling on public transport, as you'll see on my main channel on More Central. The link for that is also in the description below, and you'll see I've done a lot of travelling out and about on various different buses and routes and services and train routes and different types of trains. So I'm quite accustomed to all the various different areas that I've got maps and routes for in the 2 games. So a lot of the discussion here is all relative to real life, all references real life stuff. So if that's the thing that you're into and you've got to this point and you are thinking, yeah, I really like this channel, then do support me, click that subscribe button, and that way we can keep growing, we can keep becoming a bigger community of people, and that's really exciting. So yeah, it's always ace to have more people on board. Oh, where are we? Oh, I like that. Oh, that's a nice screenshot. I know it's just all the backside of the train, but I've always been a fan of more the LED blinds anyway, I will be honest. I will be honest, I'm a big sucker for the not LEDs, but dot matrix blinds on the Pacers. I was always a sucker for them. When I saw them, I used to get excited as a kid. Lovely. And the lighting's just been nice on that angle, so I can't really say no to that. Now again, these 2 speed points seem to have merged into each other for some reason. It's a bit weird. That was cool. A bit of a sort of split off to allow another line to join us. Oh, so it is down to 60 and then up to 75. So it was the most brief split second of 60. That does remind me though that we do need to be starting to slow down for this station. See, when I'm driving this and I'm not on camera, it genuinely does not bother me. If I miss a station, it's fine. Like, if I have to slam all on at last second, it's fine. But when you're sort of filming it and it's going on YouTube, you're like, oh, I should probably consider it a little bit more. It's like what I used to enjoy watching when I was younger, was the likes of the Mole Man 978, for those of you that remember the Mole Man 978. And there was another channel as well, and I can't remember the name of the channel. That's really bad. Really bad. I can't remember the name of the channel, but I used to watch it all the time for Train Simulator stuff, and I used to work with the mole man all the time. If anybody can remember the name of the channel from the same era as me, please do let me know. And I used to watch this channel, and it had like a green logo and stuff. I used to watch it all the time when I was younger. Absolutely all the time. And I, for the life of me, can't remember it. I feel really bad that I can't remember it. I really do. I really do feel bad. But yeah, I worked with Moleman 978 and did a few collaborations back in the day. They were like seriously good videos. Really good videos. I do very much miss them. I do seriously miss them. They were good videos. Yeah, that's the era. That was the era that I sort of grew up with when it came to Train Simulator vids and stuff like that, and simulator vids. It's all changed now. I mean, it's all changed, and here's me filming my own. After years and years of owning Train Simulator, I finally cracked how to set it all up for recording. That I'm still, to this day, I'm still very proud of myself about, because it was years of trying to perfect it and get it right and get it to work and get it to look high quality and get it to look worth it, and now we've done it, we've got there. So, and it's nice to balance this between sort of this and OMSI 2. It's nice to get a bit of both. Yes, we tend to just drive pacer bus style trains all the time. When it comes to Train Simulator, I am just a sucker for the pacer train. However, it is still fun to have a drive on these different lines. And it's nice to tell you all the stories as well. It's like the station that we're about to approach, Ravensthorpe. Now, Ravensthorpe's just a random suburb of Dewsbury, but for bus enthusiasts, Ravensthorpe is actually quite a major place. And believe it or not, as a kid, I spent a lot of time in Ravensthorpe. And you look on the likes of Bus Times or Google Maps, and you look at how many services go there, and you go, well, there's like only 2 bus routes or 3 bus routes, and they're all not that frequent, and they're not that exciting, and like this boring, simple route. But you see, it's not the routes themselves that are at Ravensthorpe, or what the buses that go through. It is in fact the heritage vehicles that come out of the bus museum, which is based at Ravensthorpe, about 3 times a year. I used to go there all the time as a kid. I haven't been there in years, I will be entirely honest. I've not been to the Dewsbury Bus Museum in years. I do need to visit again. I know that the bus running days aren't what they used to be. I'm fully aware of that. And the bus rally scene has very much changed over the past few years. I mean, I now run the very popular Pennines bus day, and I've just launched the Peak District bus day this year. So I'm to be very one upcoming and one incredibly popular and very well known bus running day every year. I run them, and the likes of Dewsbury Bus Museum and stuff like that. They do still exist, but they're not. They don't do the same stuff that they used to. I mean, I remember when I was growing up, there'd always be some random weird bus from Arriva Yorkshire would show up, and that'd run and it'd do a couple of trips, and there'd be always the old random acquisitions by preservationists launched there. Like Dewsbury Bus Museum was the place that local preservationists launched their new acquisitions. It was the place to be. And nowadays, as I say, it has changed. But it would be nice to go back. It'd be nice to go back and see it again, and see what's going on. So we are at Ravensthorpe. It is about a 10-minute walk from the bus museum itself, and from the main centre. So it's not a station I don't think I've ever visited, but I have been to the place itself. So Ravensthorpe, and then Dewsbury, and then Batley, Morley, and Leeds. So although in previous videos on this line we have covered the Huddersfield to Manchester section, and we have covered the Dewsbury to Leeds section. This section that we are now on between Huddersfield and Dewsbury, it is our first time driving on here on the channel. So I really enjoyed it. I think it's really cool. What I do really like about these platforms is how they are put together. Like this one's brick, the other ones are sort of the metro style prefab ones as well that they have. So they're like the prefab, really easy, quick build ones that they've got as well. So there's such a nice variety of various types of station platform. Like it's not just a copy and paste, it is actually some research has gone into it. The only thing that does, as I say, let this down compared to the likes of the Airedale and Wharfdale lines, which although I absolutely love, is the extended detail. Like as I say, when we were at Huddersfield and we had like 10 minutes there, there was nothing to look at because the scenery had not been built up that well. It had sort of been done a bit quicker. But what's good with like the Max Tracks, Airedale and Wharfdale lines, is the station itself's got a load of detail, and then outside of the station has also got detail. So you've also got the likes of the town centre in Ilkley. You've got the Keighley and Worth Railway line that has been properly meticulously put together at Keighley. You've got the station at Leeds, Bradford Foster Square, with the retail park next door to it that's all been put together. Like a lot of thought has gone into it. Another thing I do love about the fact that this is an Armstrong Powerhouse scenario for the 142 is there are that many Class 142s passing us. It's incredibly exciting. Speed up. What time are we supposed to be in Dewsbury? 17. So yeah, we do need to get our route down a little bit. Here we are arriving into Dewsbury Station. I don't think I've ever caught a train from Dewsbury Station. I've caught rail replacement buses from there, but I've never caught a train. And I think the reason that I have genuinely never caught a train from there is because the train line goes to Leeds and I've always been heading across the other side of West Yorkshire. So it's just something I've never done. Something I've genuinely never done. I walked onto the platform once when there was no trains, when there was all rail replacement buses to utilise the toilet, but that was about it. Yeah, I've been through it on the train a few times, but I've never alighted or boarded a train here. Just really random fact of the day. Really random fact of the day. But what I do like, again, although a lot of these scenarios are based in like regional railways area to avoid any copyright with active companies, is that the line, with it being modern era, was built with the modern bits, like the bridge has the TPE Trans-Pennine blue paint on it, and that they do actually have, and the girders here have the blue paint on them. Like this is very much, it doesn't just feel like a generic line, it does feel like you are on the Trans-Pennine route. It does give that atmosphere about it that I think's really cool. Would help if I pressed the right button. I was holding my finger on caps lock while I'm thinking like, why is the accelerator not going on? No, it's the button next door to it that controls the accelerator. A for accelerate. So if you notice as well, apart from Huddersfield, that was our only sort of passing loop point where another faster train could overtake. That's very much the only point that we've seen so far on this route. And here we go, going over the iconic bridge, saying hello and goodbye to Dewsbury. Now onto the very, very nearby Batley. Like Batley is very, very close to Dewsbury. When you do travel between the two places by bus, the 281 and the 283 buses do go all over before they get there, so it gives the impression it's like 20-30 minutes away. No, it is literally 5 minutes by car between the two locations. Just the bus goes all over the place before it gets there. What time we do Batley? 18:20. So we need to catch some time up here, hopefully. Upon reflection, I'm actually quite glad that we overran the station at Ashton-under-Lyne, because I think if we didn't we'd have had even longer to wait. So I think that actually worked out best, to be honest. Going into Batley. And then let's get the doors open as quick as we can, because we're due here at 20 and the next station is very much timetabled. We do have to get there in like 4 minutes. And as someone that knows this line rather well, that is a mean feat. I will be honest, that is a mean feat. But we'll see, we'll see. No, now look, because we waited all that time for Huddersfield. No, now look, we'll end up late there, but hey, we've done the vast majority of it on time, so. Go, let's go. Oh, look at that with the background. Oh, wow. I have to get a screenshot of that. I know the sunlight's not right, but yeah, proper West Riding vibes, this. Proper West Riding vibes. Telling me we are there in 3 miles, so we have to do 3 miles in 3 minutes. How exciting! And you wonder why train drivers are sometimes quite stressed. Although at least the positive is from Morley we are then direct to Leeds, so there's going to be no messing about all like that. It'll be straight to Leeds, so no cutting link. Again, the calling pattern of this particular run just is bizarre to me. Really bizarre. I need that time to start going down. The ETA is just going up. I need it to go down a little bit. There we go, Batley. Like I am accelerating as quick as I can, and I'm still losing ETA time. Like. Joys of the pace. There we go, watch us snake through as we then go head under the tunnel. That's another nice screenshot actually. Yeah, we've lost all of that ETA time that suggested that we'd actually get there before that we were due. We've lost all of that. It's always exciting. Always exciting, is that? We literally have a minute and a half to do 1.5 miles in a pacer train. Fun times. Very fun times. Although from memory, as soon as we come out of this tunnel, we are literally at the station. As someone that was at Morlin not so long ago in real life, the station, as I discussed in the last video we came to hear of, is slightly different now because we've done a lot of work to Morlin in recent times. A lot of work. However, I am aware that as soon as we get out of this tunnel, we are literally on the station. That's where I slightly chicken out, I'm going to be honest, because I don't want to go past Morley if I can help it. That is entirely where I chicken out. That's a more sensible speed to be approaching the station on. If that fails us because I was there at 26 minutes and 0 seconds on the dot, I'm going to be really upset. Because that was the most, like, genuinely hardcore break I've ever done into the station. I was like, we just need to catch up the seconds. If that fails me because of that, I'm going to be really upset. Because that means I was literally a second out. I will not be impressed. It probably is as well. It has done. Oh, I'm gutted. Absolutely gutted. Shocking. That is absolutely shocking. I'm really annoyed with that. Literally 26 minutes and 0 seconds is when those doors open. A second late. A second too late. Shocking. Anyway, let's leave Morley. This car park's had a lot of work done to it. As I have spoken about before, a lot of work. That's why the station was shut for quite a while. And it was all road replacement buffers. That has had a lot of work. It's now a massive car park for turning point buses as well and everything in it. So it's definitely more practical as a car park facility and a lot more useful for people wanting to use the train as like a park and ride. Now to Leeds, and apparently we're doing Leeds in 4 miles, so we're not actually doing that bad. We are scheduled to get there hopefully on time, so that's nice. We've only got one failed place, so that's positive. And to say how many stations we've served, we've only got one failed location, that's actually alright, is that? I can live with that. About keeping it up to try and end on a high, finish this video on a high. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Oh wow, for the first time in the entire video, the lighting is correct on the front of the train. Excellent. Excellent stuff. It's just been facing the other way the entire run. Excellent stuff. I like that. That'll do. That's a treat. That'll do, and then we'll try for one a little bit lower as well. See if that can come out nicely. Oh, that does look nice, actually. That yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's just escape the problematic shrubbery, as I shall refer to it as, the problematic shrubbery. Yep, I like that. That'll do. I still genuinely just love how well the Northern Rail colours look in this game. Like, they just are totally on point to how I remember them. Like, they just look so nice. The logo and everything. Again, I remember going on these as a kid. There goes Cottingley, and there was a lovely 150 in Cottingley that we didn't pay much attention to. Too busy talking about the pace. Oh, we are actually speeding, so let's slow it on down a little bit. Not that excited to talk about the pace trains, and it is also a slight downhill gradient, so it's kind of understandable. So we're doing to platform 12. Platform 12 is the regular platform for anything that goes towards Huddersfield, Dewsbury, either or both of them on the Trans-Pennine route. So it's a reverser platform. From memory, I think it's a reverser platform. I'm sure it's a reverser platform. We'll find out when we get there. It's been a while since I caught a train from Leeds, believe it or not. It's very strange for me, actually. I usually spend quite a lot of time in Leeds. Unwillingly. Leeds isn't my go-to place that much, I'll be honest. I do like the Belgrave Music Hall, for those of you that have been to Leeds. Belgrave Music Hall is a very nice place. Very nice place as well. There used to be another place on Vicar Lane that was called the Old Bus Station. That was the original coach station, refitted out into sort of like this vegetarian restaurant. Now, I do eat a bit of everything. My food requirements, like I eat a bit of everything. I'm a balanced diet, but they specialised in veggie and vegan food, and the food that they served there was absolutely stunning. They have closed it recently, which was such a shame. Really was a shame. I was very sad to find that out, but a seriously nice variety of food that they serve there, I will admit. Very nice variety. There's a cross-country Voyager in front. Fair dues. Gonna be honest, I wasn't expecting to see one of them. And here we go, the infamous snaking into Leeds that you do. Oh wow, look at all of this action. Pacer trains were following a Voyager in. And we've actually got green signals. Oh no, it must be Leeds. Oh no, yes, 12's that platform, isn't it? Yeah, 12's. Oh no, we've ended up speeding up again. I didn't mean to do that. I was too busy thinking about life. Oops. Oops, way too busy thinking about life, and the train sped itself up again. Oh dear. That'll do, and then get rid of that, and then no electric trains access. Good job we're not an electric train. Look, that actually looks really nice. I really like that screenshot. I really do. You just get a screenshot where you just like, yeah, I've taken a million during this video, but there's just that one that just stands out. Yeah, with the vibes as well, with all the like electrical gantries too. Yeah, it's because it keeps speeding up for some reason. And it's not really that much of a downhill gradient, so I don't quite know why it keeps. Oh no, it is like 1 in 85 is this section. So no, that makes sense. This section's a 1 in 85. iconic bit of Leeds Station. If you've ever caught a local northern train in, you will know the stress of the train coming in late, so it misses its slot, so you end up sat at these signals for like 5 minutes waiting for a platform, knowing full well you're going to miss your connecting train. And then you see your connecting train go past, and because it's an express train, it gets priority. Oh, the memories. The memories. And again, there's definitely more detail on this area in the Max Tracks Airedale line. There's definitely more detail in that, but it is still nice to see the station sort of in the sunlight on this particular route. And it's cool that we followed a cross-country training. That's awesome. That is seriously cool. Like, I'm dead impressed with that we followed a Voyager in. I mean, we did a video with the Voyager on the Avanti line, the Chester to Crewe section, but it would be quite nice to have a go with the, don't miss that. I think I did. Are you having a laugh? We've ended off this video by me missing an AWS warning because I was too busy staring at a Voyager that I can't see because it's already all the way down the station. Yes, it is. We got all that way and we got pinged because I was too busy looking for trains. Oh, dear me. At least we're nearly there. I mean, if we'd have been on the other side of the platform 12, we'd have been alright. We had to stop us just in time, and I could have been like, oh, well, sight, guys, we've got it spot on, but nah. Nah, it had to be this bit up here, and I had to miss it, didn't I? Oh, that's going back to Huddersfield. 152.5. What's it been on that? I'm getting that one. We're not missing that one as well. So, there we go, folks. So, although I didn't entirely 100% with a cherry on top go to plan, we have made it to Leeds all the way from Manchester, Victoria. Crikey, that was an adventure. I really enjoyed that. I really, really did. And I hope you all enjoyed watching it as well. And we have actually arrived in 10 seconds early. That is also quite impressive. It was a fun run. There was adventures involved. We nearly missed Ashton Underline. Sorry, guys. We got to go through. We got to sort of do the fast sections of this old timetable route. Have a little chat about Huddersfield. We ran out of things to say about Huddersfield, and got to enjoy many, many screenshots of this lovely 4-car pacer, which was an absolute pleasure to take on this line. So this is we've done the entire Leeds to Manchester via Huddersfield line. You can purchase this line on Steam. The Armstrong Powerhouse Class 142 is highly recommended. You can buy this off the Armstrong Powerhouse site. I will link them in the description below. When you do purchase it, if you already have the route, the scenario will pop up so you can drive this exact same scenario. You might have a few more AI vehicles than what I have because there are a few bits that I was missing, but I had the majority there. I had all the northern stuff that's all the important stuff at the end of the day. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have got to this point, I would imagine you have. And if you have got to this point, then please do be sure to click that like button, because that way more people can find the video and enjoy it just like you have. And that way, if you found the channel through that, or you are relatively new, you found it some other way, or you haven't done so already, then do consider subscribing to my channel, the one that you're watching, Simulation Section, for more content like this on Train Simulator, usually focusing around the northern lines in the north of England, as well as beyond, alongside my OMSI2, the bus simulator videos. You can also check out my main channel and more central for content around the real-life bus, train and tram industries around the UK and beyond, as well as my Day in the Life of Bus Driver series where I drive real-life buses, and my Project Bus series where I restore my own real-life buses. Yes, lots of buses and stuff, so it's quite nice to drive a train. Once again, thank you all for watching. Thank you so much for your continued support, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video, mate. Bye for now. Bye.